Hi everyone. So today I'm here to show you how I do abstract art. So this is part 1 of the video and there would be part 2 coming up. So starting with, these are the tools that I use. These are the brushes that I have. I use wide ones, thin ones, a wide range of brushes, and most importantly for me is how the canvas is made. I keep them straight, and it's important that I look into the texture of the canvas. So the linen used here is highly textured, so I always look for that. The second thing that I do is always make use of texture material. I start by adding textures onto the canvas. So these are texture material, or this is called the structure material from the art store, and they're quite sticky by itself. I usually use a palette knife. Sometimes I do use my hands for that and apply enough texture material onto the canvas slowly with the palette knife. I usually determine the shape of these textures when I know if I have a rough layout of the painting that I'm doing, but most of the times I go random on it because it's mostly on abstract art. But in this painting we would be looking into how I do abstract, not from a pure expressionism point of view but from more of a landscape point of view. So what I'm painting right here is the lower part of the abstract painting or the landscape, where this area would correspond to the muddy area that you would see in a beach. And once the texture is added, I leave them to dry. It depends on how much quantity or depth I need. There's always a mixture of coarse texture material and there's always a mixture of fine texture material. After it is completely dried, so I give it a good 2-day or 3 overnights of drying time, and then what I do is take the scrub. This is the most interesting or the most vivid or weird material or tool that I use. So this is just the scrubs that we usually use for washing dishes. They actually do a quite good job. They do absorb a lot of paint and water, but in a way it is good because when I have texture already added onto the canvas, it allows me to scrub through or add in just the paint with the right amount of wetness on it. So if you see in detail here, the close-up shot completely gives how the texture has been added onto the painting, onto the board. And for me, the scrub also gives a good amount of control on how much or how little paint I need to add. I am a deep fan of gold, so I always apply gold to the texture. And finally, if you see what I've painted here is landscape, or this is just the upper half of the painting where I have the gray area corresponds to the texture up and middle, and there's also a golden color texture on it. So this gives me a good amount of depth to the picture. So I feel always that the painting is more lively than the normal untextured one. So if you see, this detail gives a lot of movement in the painting, a lot of depth in the painting, and the most important part is you can also feel these paintings. I hope you enjoyed watching me painting. Stay tuned for the second half of this painting, and if you like the videos that I'm sharing, please go ahead and like the video, also share it. Thank you.